when I was 5 years old, I had hip surgery to repair a birth defect. And the alternative to that would have been being crippled. I spent nearly 8 months in a body cast, and I had to learn how to walk again as a 5-year-old. It's amazing what you learn about yourself as an adult when you look back on some of those things and reflect about what was happening. It took me until late last year to realize that all those months that I spent immobilized, basically a year of watching my friends go out, ride their bikes, go sliding, trick-or-treating, and all those things that I was missing out on, that had a real profound impact on me. So now it makes perfect sense to me that once I was up and on my feet again, and still today, I want to do everything. This was reinforced by my equal opportunity parents, because I mentioned there were 3 girls in the family, no boys. So I did laundry and dishes, and I also did mowing and shoveling and picking up garbage. For Christmas, I got Barbies and a Hot Wheels backhoe. I took dance lessons and I played soccer. And we were never discouraged from trying new things just because we were girls. So for me, succeed or fail, it was never something that I accounted as being because I was a girl. Which meant that if there was a team, a club, a sport, an activity, anything new to try, I wanted to do it. And I was not particularly stellar at any of it. And in fact, I was downright terrible at some of it. I mean, I had no business being on the basketball team at all. I didn't really care about that. I'm a firm believer that by having new experiences and meeting new people, you become a more open and understanding and open-minded person. Now, of course, the desire to try everything meant that I was pretty indecisive about what I wanted to be when I grew up. And as I tell people, one of these days I will grow up and figure that out. Did anyone here ever have one of those school yearbooks from the Regal catalog, the one that had like a page for every year of school? It had a place where you could put your picture from that school year, and then you filled out who your friends were and what you did that year. And then there was a checklist at the bottom for what you wanted to be when you grew up. So by grade 5, there were 13 check marks on that list. I had basically decided I was not going to be an astronaut or a hockey player. Everything else was fair game. I had always been intrigued by the military, and I was a good student, but when a recruiter told me that I should focus on doing some more math, science, and physics, I just decided, no, I'll head off to Memorial University and I'll pursue a business administration degree. And then I met calculus. Long story short, after about 4.5 years, one forced academic holiday, several route changes, and a lot of fun, I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in English, with a concentration in theater and drama, and a minor in, wait for it, folklore. I was perfectly set up for a future of nothing. Now, fortunately, around that same time, I met some sailors from the Navy who were going to the Marine Institute. And I started talking to them about, if I got into the Navy and I didn't like it and then I'm stuck and I don't want to do that. And that's when I learned about the Naval Reserve. So I thought, hey, part-time Navy. I'll go. I'll give it a try, see if I like it. Yeah, little did I know that just giving it a try was going to lead to a full-time career, travel around the world, and command of a ship. You just never know until you give it a try. Now, I could tell you countless stories, those salty dits, as we call them in the Navy, from my 23 years of service. I could tell you stories of summary trials, of members with mental and physical health challenges, personality conflicts, friends that were combating addictions, or that very first night I spent at sea when I realized that one of these days I was supposed to be that person up there on the bridge trying to figure out what all those lights meant and keeping the ship and the crew safe while the captain tried to sleep. I could talk about my personal struggles, my own visits to mental health, my past relationships, or how I found myself changing, succumbing to the sarcasm, the anger, and the negativity in some of my work environments. And that led me to a place where I didn't like who I had become. Or I could tell you how I managed to recover my lost self and find some joy in life again. A big part of that was remembering to be true to who I am, to remember that I am more than my job, and that there's also a big place in my job for who I am and what I believe in. It wasn't until I stopped trying to be like everyone else and just started doing things the way that I believed they should be done that I was able to finally attain my command qualification. I had to remember my personal code of staying true to myself. Everyone had assumed that I was a woman on the fast track. There was a lot of pressure for me to get that command qualification, but I did it on my terms. In fact, I walked into my last command board with the attitude that, pass or fail, this is the last time I'm doing this. And if I don't get the command qualification, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I can live with this. Well, as it turned out, I became the third female commanding officer of a ship in the Royal Canadian Navy and the first one on the West Coast. Once I was qualified, things started to move pretty quickly, and I always laugh when I see the picture of the day that I took command of HMCS Nanaimo. We're sitting at the table, I was signing the certificate, and I looked up for the official portrait. And the thought that went through my head at that very moment was, holy shit, what am I doing? I'm signing for a ship. I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. But you know what? It didn't matter because I had a team to support me. I had a new family and a new opportunity to sink or swim. Literally, I guess. Most importantly, I think, was that I stuck to another one of my personal codes. And that is never ask your people to do something you're not willing to do yourself. I want my sailors to know that I understand the challenges that they're going through and that I will always consider how my decisions affect them. Because things can go sideways at sea in a hurry. I've had a sailor fall gravely ill within 30 minutes of leaving a port. I've had a diesel alternator blow up in the middle of the ocean off the coast of California. And I've encountered some severe weather systems that damaged equipment and scared people, myself included. And it's at moments like that that people look at the commanding officer. The buck stops here. There have been days where things were going very smoothly and I sat up on the bridge in my chair and I thought, look at me playing captain. And then there were those ungood days where I sat in that same chair and I thought, what the hell have I gotten myself into and how are we going to get out of this? But here I am in my 4th command appointment and my 2nd seagoing command position as soon as the ship is built. I learned that I do my best when I am myself, whether or not others agree with my opinions or my approach. I live by the concept of respect. That is, that respect is earned. It's not something that you automatically get because you've been placed in a position of leadership or you've been given a title. And that respect works both ways. It goes up and down the chain. My sailors have a ton of knowledge and experience, and they are the ones who are going to make me look good while I just sit up in my chair and say, yes, please. They do the work. And they remember you. I believe that there is a time and a place for rank and structure. I'm not suggesting that we ignore it, but sometimes you need to appeal to your people on a more personal basis. You need to show them that you are also a human, that you have struggles, but that you have the strength and the perseverance to overcome hurdles, in large part because of those around you. And sometimes we need to give our people some reasoning and rationale behind our decisions and actions. Earning their trust in that manner increases the likelihood that people will follow your orders without question when the proverbial crap hits the fan or the diesel alternator blows up in the middle of the ocean. If there's one thing that I would tell you about being a good leader, it's that it starts with your own personal happiness. If you're not happy, you're not going to be effective. You have to decide what's important to you. If you love putting work ahead of everything else, then as we say in Newfoundland, fill your boots. But if you're miserable doing it, what's the point? We have one life to live, and it can be over in a moment. So be happy and enjoy what you do. Now, I'll close out, because I'm already over time, by doing what I usually do, which is giving a couple of my personal rules for life and leadership, which I hope fit with tonight's theme. First of all, that's be a person. People respond to personal experiences if you share them, but don't make it all about yourself. You need to give your people a voice to speak to you. Have a sense of humor. Don't take yourself too seriously, and remember, not one of us is perfect. I had a chief who used to say, there was only one perfect man, and we nailed him to a cross. Be introspective. Take a good look at yourself every once in a while and fix the things that you don't like or that you let slip. Because I know you do it about your haircut, so why not do it for your soul? Be kind. You never know what the other person is going through, and the thing that you do or say just might be the thing to make a difference in their day. And most importantly, live every day doing whatever the heck you want to, because you live in a country that lets you do that. To not take advantage of the freedom you have is an insult to those who protect it and those around the world who are still fighting for it. Thank you.